Stream here on Friday. It's July 21st, 2017. I made it this far. Not too bad. We're going to be playing 5+3 through 8+3 challenges in Blitz and Classical Chess here on lichess.org. I'm International Master Will Paschall. I am an International Master. An awesome one. Just kidding, guys. It's just fun to be back streaming. Usually I'm in Europe, but for July and August, I'm in the United States. We're streaming Eastern Time, USA. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And Sundays, including this Sunday, most likely, 5 p.m., I'll be doing a simultaneous exhibition against 25 players at the same time here on lichess.org, where I do all or most of my live streams. Brundle Phil, what's up? Please play me in normal order. All right, man. I kind of... Move 11, what's up? Move 11 is a subscriber too. Good to see him. He's not always here for my Blitz streams. He usually comes for the simuls. Move 11, good to see you. Thanks to everybody that subscribed already. I want to verify that my mic is sounding louder again. We had a volume issue, and I think I might have fixed it. But I haven't tested it on the stream yet. So let me know how the sound is. I've got only 3 challenges. Troll in the Roll are probably our most fanatical supporter, although he can be a real troll at times. Ribka 6, I'd love to play except for the fact that your name is a computer and you only have 6 games. I'm going to have to decline that. I usually require everyone to have, well, I usually require everyone to have 50 established games, their account, so it sounds good. Yeah, somehow, I don't know if it was like a Windows update or something, but something changed the settings in my audio, my mic audio, without my knowing about it, somewhere along the line. So I did manage to fix the sound finally after like five streams of low volume in one YouTube video. I tried to post a YouTube video yesterday of a live game I played here with analysis, but I'm probably going to put that up tonight. I didn't get it through to YouTube. Guys, also check out my YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube. We've got lots of subscribers here. Move 11, Brundle Phil, Crow, who's our moderator, our main moderator. He's in Europe. We appreciate you guys in Europe hanging out with us. I know it's kind of late for the European players. So let's get started. Brundle Phil says take him in order. So anyway, Troll in a Roll is going to play me in Chess 960, 6+5. My Office 365 is ready to upgrade. I'm really excited about that. Not. I lost, what? 52 points. Hey, Will, the last game you played on Wednesday pissed you off? Yeah. I think the guy was using an engine, but I don't think that we can, convict people for computer cheating based on one game. Unfortunately, it's theoretically possible that a player played that high quality of a game. So I submitted a memo to lichess reporting that he could have used an engine. It's up to them. They didn't convict him of being a computer based on one game with me. I don't care one way or the other. I lost a lot of points. I feel it was probably a computer. On the other hand, that particular guy doesn't usually use a computer, judging by his experience and how many games he has and his ratings and stuff. So I felt like it was a one-time deal where he was just trying to troll me, literally. But anyway, it pissed me off a little bit. But I should be more just like, don't even let it bother me. So anyway, we'll get the points back. No big deal. It's just lichess classical rating points. All right, so Troll in a Roll played c4 here. I'm going to play b6. It's a move I like anyway. This almost is a normal chess position, just with the bishop and rook reversed. It's like a great hedgehog. I mean, I already have my rook on c8. I already have the bishop fianchetto. This is such a sweet and interesting position. This is an improvement over the original chess position. The rook is like more centralized, and the bishop's on this is like the coolest, probably the coolest chess 960 starting position I've ever seen. I mean, it's just like a better than usual normal chess position. It's a little weird that, you know, we don't have the rook on the A file. but I think it's actually to my benefit. This rook could really benefit from c5. Probably someone used an engine against me. It's not the first time. It won't be the last. But again, we can't convict people, you know, without enough evidence. So I'm just gonna leave it up to lichess to decide if that particular player is a computer cheater or not. Knight to c3, and now he's possibly threatening d5. I just realized, you know, his bishop's kind of buried. He hasn't played the same setup as me, obviously. His bishop's kind of buried. He doesn't have things like bishop g5 to fight for control of d5, which he would normally have in this kind of position. I'd like to play c5, but he can go d5. I can play bishop b4 like a Nimzo. Not as effective as in the normal position. d5 is interesting. What else can I do here? I don't know. We could just play bishop e7. Actually, knight e4 is kind of interesting. Then he goes b3 probably. So d5, pawn takes pawn. That's the thing that bothers me. I mean, opening up his rook doesn't seem like a great thing for me. My first game for the day, guys. I've been driving today. We didn't play. I woke up with abnormally blurry vision that hasn't gone away yet. That's not good, but it depends on how long you've been suffering from that. And if you just woke up 5 minutes ago, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Monkey Pushing Wood, welcome. Christopher Reeves. I don't know what to do, guys. Bishop b4, a3 doesn't impress me. d5 doesn't do it for me. c5, d5, I don't really like either. So I just don't know what to do here. g6 doesn't look right. Bishop e7 is kind of interesting. What is the point with bishop e7 anyway? Alright. No particular point. Maybe a delayed c5 I was thinking about. A little more development. Or a delayed d5. Feels like I'm gonna have to lay some claim to the center at some point. But his bishop on a1 is bad. He does have better central control. Okay, I remember you now. You said you were learning through this Argentine, right? Roberto Grau, Argentine player, deceased, an old school master. I do remember now, Christopher Reeves. I remember you. You beat me. Guys, I will take challengers who are subscribers first if they want to. I am the chess coach. Rated 2460s challenged me to rated. Okay, that's fine, but I don't play rated games. Alright. I'm gonna take out any challenges that are rated games, and anybody who has less than 50 anybody with less than 50 rated games, anybody challenge me to rated, anyone rated over like 2600, which is suspicious here. This is chess 960. I was like, why am I 2100? So here's the point now. I allowed d5, but I had bishop b4. So I played bishop e7. He plays d5. Now I go bishop b4. You hope that NM re-challenges. Yeah, I'm happy to play casual games, but he was challenging me to a rated game, 5-3. His rating's real high for an NM. 2600 something. Alright, so we're taking a pawn, it looks like. That looks good. It could be a sacrifice of some sort, but I don't believe this is really sound. Arkovian. I get suspicious when people who are like higher rated than me challenge me here, because it's kind of like, why do they want to play me if they're better than me? Alright, e3. He's just, oh man, I hate this. You should be able to castle normally. You have to touch the rook. It's so weird in chess 960. I don't mind playing NMs, but it has to be a casual game. Alright, he's re-challenged me to... Who is this guy? Open link in new window. My FIDE rating is 2200. He's won many national titles. He charges $10 an hour if you want to play Blitz or Classical. Looks like it's a brand new account since February. FIDE 2200, but 2600 in Blitz. That's pretty weird. There are some really strong Blitz players with low ratings, though. I noticed one guy here who's like a USCF 1800 player, who's 2580. But he's kind of a specialist. Occasionally get players who are 1800s, 1900s who are just lightning fast in Blitz. They're kind of like Blitz specialists, maybe underrated a little bit. But okay, yeah, 2200 I could see being 2600 here in lichess. I don't put too much emphasis on trying to get a high rating. Like, what's his name? Penguin I am. He has a new video every day about how he's going to try to be 3000 or 3050 and bullet. I mean, this is, to me, that's not what chess is about. But I guess it gets ratings on the YouTube channel. People like to see that. So castles here. Now my bishop's kind of hanging out to dry on b4. So maybe rook e8 will bring him back into the fold at some point. The other option would be to just chop off the knight. Leave him with this really powerful... maybe it's not so bad. Let him have that bishop. The bishop is so strong on a1. Usually against Troll and Rule, I'm actually way ahead on time, but here we're behind. Just let him know that you're challenging. I think I declined somebody because, yeah, if you have less than 60 games. Is that Christopher Reeves? You played 5 games and you already beat me 1. Christopher Reeves. Okay, so Christopher Reeves. Christopher Reeves, if you want to re-challenge me, you're like Ribka 8. We've got a couple of strong players, 2200 and another guy who's 2400. We drew with him. Okay, knight b5, going after my a pawn. Well, a couple options here. I guess we can be really materialistic. Bishop, let's see, bishop is getting trapped on b4 or awkwardly placed if I play knight c5. Not really, I don't care so much about the a pawn here. But I was thinking bishop takes f3 and then maybe knight c5. Then I could attack his knight. This is awkward. We are awkward in a very awkward situation here. Man, I don't know. Give up my bishop. This is just a stupid way to play this. This is just not great. I'm getting nervous because of the time. Okay. Probably wait as at least an equal game here. But well, I don't think we're in any immediate danger. We can play a6, kick his knight back. I think he'll go to like d4. What I don't want is my bishop to get stuck out here. Actually, maybe I won't even bother defending this pawn. I probably shouldn't even bother defending that pawn. Just let it hang and play something like knight e4. So if he plays bishop takes f6, queen takes f6. I don't like the way I played this, but I'm a little bit not warmed up yet. A little bit slow. It's cool to challenge you, however, I don't have an established rating yet. Alright, Christopher Reeves. You did play me once before. I think you beat me, though. I hope it wasn't a rated game. We have that going around a lot lately. Again, once again, do I care about my a-pawn that much? Now on bishop b1, I'm kind of caring about it. Starting to care about it. Screw it. I mean, yeah, I don't care about it. You can have my a-pawn if you want. I want coordination. I got knight d2 maybe. This pawn is just a temptation. Let him have his pawn back. We have a better structure. Our pieces are all okay. No bad pieces. He's got these monstrous bishops though. That's the one thing that looks really powerful for white in this position. He could set up stuff like queen h3 maybe. Ideas like this. But c'est la vie. I bet you on the people cheating. Well, I feel you on the people cheating. Yeah, we had a guy. It was weird yesterday because he like challenged me to a casual game, played a4, then I declined. I aborted the game because I thought he was just like trolling with me. Then I said, okay, I'll let you play. Then he changed it to a rated challenge and played 1e4. How weird is that? Like you challenge unrated, play a ridiculous move, I abort the game, then he re-challenges me to rated, and then starts playing a serious game. It was like, what? I wasn't surprised when he played like a perfect game with no inaccuracies. I was so desperate at the end. I was clearly losing and just hung a rook, but it didn't matter. I was probably lost anyway, even with best. I think he even, check this out, I think he even offered me a take back when I hung my rook in near the final position. He actually offered me a take back, but I had already resigned by then. Chess.com is just riddled with computers. Okay, you can't even play on the site, and it's almost impossible to get them to. Let's get back to F8. It's almost impossible to get administrators to even pay attention if you have like a complaint where someone's like using an engine. I mean, I've played probably like 10 games on chess.com in my life, and literally like 4 of them were people using engines. Not really a good ratio. Alright, troll. Can I afford to play d6 here? Don't like knight takes a7 and all this c6 weak square, but at the end of the day we have a better pawn structure than troll on the roll. Troll on the roll, you remind me of like sushi or something. Knight takes a7, we're headed out here. You're going to go where? Back to c6, and now we've got queen here. Hopefully that's a good move. I don't see any objections to this move. If anyone has an objection to queen c8, better structure in the house. a2 is hanging. Yeah, we've got the structure. Troll usually loses on time. Brundle Phil, what's up? About 5 people analyzed that game after it was over on Wednesday. Deja vu, are you talking about 0, 0, 0? Yeah, 8 cent a pawn. My computer said 8 cent a pawn, but uh-oh. Troll and a roll got... I snuck the queen. The cheapo there. What's really going on in this game? Weird game. I couldn't decide what to do. I think that d5 is a mistake in the opening, Troll. You overreached yourself. Oh, actually he has a strong move here? No. Okay. He sacked a pawn. I mean, not really his usual style. But I don't know that giving up my white squared bishop was really the best, you know? I mean... And then, just structurally, he's slightly worse. Final position, you know, I thought he should play queen e2, and then he can play on. You know, he's only a tiny bit worse due to structure in this position. Anyway, I don't want to just, like, I don't want to just go on and on about, like, one random game where some dude probably used the computer. I mean, it's over. Forget about it. All right, so I got challenges from Bob Sakamano, Arkovian, Monkey Pushing Wood, the chess coach, Meowizy, Nefedov, Rybka 6. So Rybka 6, I'm going to play Bob Sakamano, and then Rybka 6, I guess. He's a guy who played me like a long time ago. But Rybka 6, you had a different account then, because I haven't actually played Rybka 6 before. And Plukro, one of our moderators. Plukro, let me know if you want to play or you want to wait. Troll on a roll. It wasn't really your usual. Forgot your account. Wasn't really your usual modus operandi to like sacrifice pawn. Troll on a roll doesn't normally like to part with material like Gambit style. I think this game he overextended with d5. It was kind of my only hope. You know, I played bishop e7. I'm like, please play d5 because there I can play bishop b4. And then he's kind of overreached himself. If he hadn't played d5, I don't know what I was going to do, Troll. I don't know what I was going to do. I didn't like any of my options. c5, d5, g6. He would have had me in a bind if I had faced a normal move instead of d5 last game. I'd rather play, but seems I'll wait. It'll wait. Seems. No, I'll play you. We'll play you. We've got to play Bob. We'll play Blue Crow next. You're a subscriber. Then probably I'll play Ribka 6, Arkovian, any other subscribers that come along. Looks like our NM, the NM either disconnected or just gave up. Okay, so now Bob is basically playing, well, he should play the Cambridge Springs defense here if he knows his stuff. Knight bd7, followed by Queen a5 and Bishop b4. I once played a game, a game I was proud of. I beat Arnold Denker, Grandmaster, American Grandmaster, in a nice game. I had a really nice game with him. One of the, you know, he was like 2350 at the time, but I mean, it was one of like his last tournaments probably, like 1994. The 2600 NM looks strong. Win my votes on you anyway. I'm you know, I'm not that fast, but if you put me in these increment blitz, I'm usually stronger than, you know. If I really played a lot, I could hold my own with GMs in like 3-0 and 5-0, but I'm used to playing with the increment now. Bob Sacamano, okay, he's gonna have to play Queen a5 or Bishop b4 here. If he plays Bishop b7 or something like that, he's playing a passive position. Like a lot of the books suggest Queen a5 first as opposed to Bishop b4. I'm not really sure I can answer what the difference is on that topic. Maybe I can play pawn takes pawn here. Is that the point? But I mean that would be the reason, right? I can play pawn takes pawn. I think I had this once against David Vigorito, or David Vigorito had this once against me. That was it. I played this once with Black against Vigorito, and not knowing what I was doing, tried to play the Cambridge Springs, but I think I also played Bishop b4 out of order. Like, you're supposed to play Queen a5 first. The idea being that after CD, you can play Knight takes d5. Now Bob can't play Knight takes d5, and then he has to have like some kind of inferior exchange variation. I think that's what happened in my game with Vigorito. Maybe I'm confused though. Very possible. I'm confused. Most likely. Now we have some kind of weird exchange variation. Or I'd probably be willing to sacrifice a pawn. I mean, if Black does some crazy stuff with like Queen a5. You see a sexy shirt, man. You're scaring me. Christopher Reeves says, I'm used to 40-minute games, but I'm going to get wrecked. But you beat me, I think, in a fairly fast time control, Christopher Reeves. I remember the game. You were white and a Sicilian. Played a very strange, unusual line with Bishop b5. My sexy shirt, it's extremely hot here. But Black makes me look fat, so I have to wear white now. Alright, Queen a5. Right, I was thinking about sacking a pawn here. Let's do it. No fear. Playing for the initiative. At the end of the day, I'll have the two bishops and an open file. Two bishops can be overrated, but he's got a host of weak squares and the dark squares. He's missing his superior bishop. 95. I'd like to prevent him from castling somehow, but I don't see any way to do that. Creative way to stop him from castling. Obviously the queen is going to go back here to a5. Queen e2. I have absolute confidence in this position that I have compensation for the pawn I've sacrificed. But when you do make a kind of long-term sacrifice as such, you have to play with a lot of energy to maintain the initiative here. Alright, we're going to go with the F rook across. This also, actually it probably doesn't matter now that my queen is protecting a2. Probably doesn't matter which rook I use to go to the file. He played a6 when it looks like he's trying to play b5. We'll keep the a rook for possibly b1 or pushing the a pawn forward. a6 looks like a slow move. I guess he was afraid of bishop b5 or some sort of ideas like that. Wasn't a Rosalimo Christopher Reeves. It was an open Sicilian where I played the classical variation and he played just bishop b5, which is a relatively non-theoretical move. This is a move that, like, it's very logical, but no one really plays it. Computers tend to play it when they're out of opening book. People tend to play it because if they don't know theory. It's a strange move that's sort of logical, but never really been much respected by established theory. Okay, now bishop f4. My bishop's not actually doing anything on g5. I thought maybe we'll stir up some trouble with like c7 or something. I'm kind of speculating here. I don't have a clear plan. My first plan was to probably double rooks on the file, but my bishop retains a lot of power. Maybe we can trap his queen in some possible variations. I got my queen trapped on a5 in the last couple of years. In one wonderful game. Ananas, what's up? Mauricio. Welcome everyone. International Master William Paschall streaming from the US. We're here Monday, Wednesday, Friday playing Blitz and Classical, 4 p.m. Eastern Time every day during the week, and a simul every Sunday at 5 p.m. Please subscribe to our Twitch channel or stream, and you can also check out my videos on Video Chess Training on YouTube. That's my channel on YouTube. I did create a new video. I haven't put it up yet. I had a problem uploading yesterday, so we'll probably manually put that up today. I want to try something where I go over blitz games. I play blitz games, talk about them, and then just kind of informal videos like that. Okay, I had a kind of weird idea here. Transfer my queen to b2, cover the dark squares. Now, I admit that I'm thinking about trying to trap his queen. My queen isn't doing a whole lot on e2. There are like entirely other ways of playing this position. I mean, I could have probably put my knight on e5 and thought about some sort of kingside attack, but at the end of the day, I mean, I think this c file is really important, and that in itself like guarantees that I have enough compensation for the sacrificed pawn. Okay, he's defending against this problem on the dark squares. That makes a lot of sense. And we're going to double up. If we do try to double up, there's some crazy ideas here. Rook a3. I was thinking rook a3. a4 is another interesting move, keeping him just kind of paralyzed. It's a little bit of a risky move that the pawn itself might get to become a target. This h7 is also weakness with that guy gone. White has great compensation. His queen is close to getting trapped. Okay, it always has d8. But if you were to play b6 like I did against Tartarkish, Hungarian IM, I got my queen trapped on a5 in a very embarrassing game 2 years ago. I actually put my queen on a5, played like b6, and not surprisingly it got trapped there. I think I played b6, yeah, right after queen a5. There he's going back now. So a5 is interesting. What else can I do? It's like no clear way to force a win here. We double my rooks. Is he gonna go like knight b6 or something? a5. Okay, it's compensation for a pawn, but there's no clear win for me. He's got a lot of weaknesses on the dark squares, you can imagine here. Now he's going to knight f6. I don't know what the plan is. Knight h5. Knight e5 for me. Hold on to my bishop. Is this a threat? He's playing kind of like slowly here. He can play knight to d6 now, actually. Then we go back with bishop g5 and pin him again. That'd be funny. Queen c2 was talked about to weaken, force the weakening of his king side. Even if I could just get my rook on the 7th rank, you know, with something like bishop c7, take, queen takes, rook takes, I would have. What is going on? He is offering me some form of material here. I'm not a materialist, but I'm not ashamed to take material. Especially when I'm down material, as is the case here. He doesn't have rook b8. This pawn now falls in many lines. Pretty unpleasant position. I mean, pretty much anything else would have been better. I mean, maybe knight to d6. I had something. Bishop back to g5. Pinning him again. When we look at this game after, you'll see that I always had compensation. Real Eldon Music, welcome. Real Eldon likes to watch. Guys, if you're a subscriber, I will give you preferential treatment as far as playing in the stream. Blue Crow is next. Then we'll take the rest of the challenges in order. If it gets to the point where you have so many subscribers, like 8 or 9 per stream, I guess I'll have to create like subscriber only streams, and we'll have to create viewer only streams. Okay, thank you for the game, Bob. Bob, let's check the analysis there. I think bishop b4 is an inaccurate move. Bishop b4. See, queen a5, 2,164 games. Bishop b4, 53. Yeah, so bishop b4, that's the problem. You give me like kind of improved exchange variation. Strangely, only one player played his move c takes d5. It's not that bad for black, actually. Varusian Akobian, I don't know what he was thinking, played this with black against Kwang Liam. Where's my towel? I need my towel. Damn it. I have to find my towel. Hold on. Whenever we hear the name Quang Liem, we think of our trusty towel. Used to bring the towel to the board every game. It's multi-purpose. It makes a good thing you can rest at the board, put your elbows on. It's also kind of a safety. It's like a security blanket. But anyway, in all seriousness, going back, I have good comp here. We're actually following a Murray Stephenson game. That's awesome. So let's see, did Stephenson did it? He took the pawn? Stephenson did. My friend. I was hanging out once with Hannes in Gran Canaria at a tournament. He's a really nice guy. Queen e2, we've got good compensation here all the way through. Yeah, the engine says I'm a cheater. 0 inaccuracy, 0 mistakes, 0 blunders, 6 cent pawn loss. I'm just unbelievable. But nothing really happened in this game until he hung a pawn and hung a rook. So, I can't help it. Plukro, our moderator, also a subscriber to the channel. We're going to take his challenge next. Yeah, the towel's about the most massively useful thing an interstellar hitchhiker can have, the mama duck. Ask Quang Liem, how do you think Quang Liem went from like 2,500 to 2,700 so quickly? If you take the towel with you to the board, I mean, I guarantee that's like at least 150 elo points. Security blanket, it prevents all kinds of disabilities from leaning on the table and carpal tunnel syndrome and other stuff like that. It can even be like a mouse pad, if you're playing like online blitz or something. So not to mention when it's like really humid. Quang Liem was also sweating a lot. He had really clammy hands. I noticed he had these like puffy sort of clammy hands when you shook his hand, really sweaty. Maybe he had like a sweating disorder or something, but I was just glad that I noticed that game and I could remember the towel. Alright, Plukro is playing a kind of mainline opening, which is strange. Strange to see Plukro go 4 moves without doing something weird. I'm getting too predictable, guys, I'm always playing this variation with knight to c6. I really need to branch out. Let's play just the classical Scheveningen. This is something I used to play until one day I realized that I'm just allowing the Kiri's attack, I realized after like 10 years of playing the Scheveningen with black that it's just like, it's basically sort of masochistic, it's masochistic to play this variation with black because you allow white to play g4, and if you just like getting checkmated and you like getting brutally attacked on the king side, then the Scheveningen is perfect for you. Other than that, it's a good opening. But yeah, I realized at one point I'm gonna stop playing this because of g4. He played bishop g5, which is a funny move. A move that's never really been covered by theory very much. My book by Kasparov and Nikitin in the late 80s doesn't really give much coverage of this move. Yet it's actually pretty good, and I've noticed some kind of recent games where bishop g5 has been played. It's not that clear what the best way for black to handle bishop g5 is. I was always trying to punish it with like h6 and knight takes e4. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Here like h6, bishop h4, knight takes e4. Then we've got to count on like inner positions, like interpolations of bishop b5 check at any moment. h6, bishop h4. Actually here he doesn't have to play bishop h4, he could play bishop e3. That allows knight g4. So h6, bishop h4, knight takes e4, knight takes e4, bishop takes h4. And then something like knight b5 is not a problem. Bishop b5 is not a problem. Actually, bishop b5 is going to force me to move my king. I'm up a pawn, I don't care. h6, bishop h4, knight takes e4, bishop takes e7, knight takes d2, bishop takes d8, knight takes f1. And that's where we're in our critical, looks like that's our critical. Bishop takes d8, knight takes f1, then his bishop goes somewhere and my knight is like trapped on f1. That's a problem. I mean, am I like losing a piece there? h6, bishop h4, knight takes e4, bishop takes e7, knight takes d2, bishop takes d8, knight takes f1. Okay, at the moment, yeah, I mean, it looks like my knight is just trapped on f1 in that line. I end up thinking about these things for like half an hour, and then it's just a complete waste of time. I just spent like a minute and a half on calculating h6, knight takes e4. It doesn't even work. I did notice recently that this system, so-called system, it's not really a legitimate system, but it's fully playable for white. I remember some US Open where some old guy who was like 2075 drew me by doing like bishop g5 and this, and then I tried to punish it by doing h6 and knight takes e4. I ended up just like trading all the pieces into a drawn ending or something. So it always seems like whenever you try to do something fancy against this, you just end up like simplifying it best. You were learning how to calculate from Kotov GM books. Actually, I have the Kotov GM book just behind the screen. Just don't look on the other side of the screen. It's like the Wizard of Oz. On the other side of that screen behind me, there is a basket filled with books. Free books for our subscribers. No, just kidding. Actually, we're not at that stage yet, but hopefully we will reach that stage where we're giving out free books and t-shirts. We're thinking into the future here. Castles queenside. Again, h6, bishop h4, knight takes e4, bishop takes e7, knight takes d2, bishop takes d8, knight takes f1. I mean, does that really change anything? It doesn't seem like it does. So here we are. And I mean, a6 would obviously transpose to a Najdorf, some kind of probably main line sort of Najdorf. What else can I do? Just hope he plays king b1 on the next move or something. What can I do other than this? h6, bishop h4. Knight c6 transposes to a main line, Richter Rouser. Oh goody. Let's just do it, huh? Man, that's lame. I mean, I spent all my time transposing to a mainline Richter Rouser. I think I played this position against Hikaru in like Canada in 1996 or maybe it was later, 1998, 1999. I don't remember what year. It couldn't have been 96. That was too long ago. Hikaru played with white against me when he was like a kid, and he swindled me down a pawn to a draw in some variation like this. What's your favorite book? Little Pigwing, what's up? Troll in a Roll gives up and he's leaving. What a faithful guy. h4. That looks like theory. That looks suspiciously like f4 is probably main line. So h6. Yeah, we're supposed to play like knight takes d4. This is a line that I was inspired to play when I was hanging out with John Fedorovich. We went through a phase where I was inspired by the Fed to play this line of the black side of the Richter Rouser, but the theory is kind of daunting. You play like 30 moves of theory and then like you're fighting for a draw with some exchange sacrifice. I ended up like stop playing these main lines because there's too much theory and it just seemed like a lot of work to get positions where everyone knows what they're doing. Flucaro just played queen e3. It's kind of a weird move. I mean, I don't know what his intention is there with queen e3. What is this about, sir? Some sort of cheapo to prevent bishop d7. If that's what it looks like bishop d7, e5, in your face, kind of thing. It's so good. It's smart. It's so good. I understand what you're trying to do, but I would have like knight g4 in some positions. Yeah, queen e3 looks like a professional move. It's so good it's scaring me. Does it like lose material by force or something? I have knight g4. Wow. Knight g4 just feels like it's a trap. He has so many good moves after that. Or does he? Doesn't feel like the right way to go. Knight g4. All right, we gotta move it along here. I'm just wasting way too much time. Bang. Yes. I just lost a pawn. Totally creative solution to a unique position. I'm not gonna fall for your, little tricks where you're tempting me to play knight g4 and try to win a pawn, or h6, weaken to my king side, or make some routine move like bishop d7. I'm just playing b5. Take it if you dare. It might be the best move to take it, I don't know, but at least we'll get some counterplay. He played e5. Okay. That's not really what I was expecting, but it might be a good move. I hope not. I don't have a choice. Hopefully the towel will save me. Little Penguin says, I think I like the solitude of prime numbers. Solitude. I feel like I'm playing Zoltan Varga now or something. He likes to do things like queen takes e5. It looks totally lame, but a safe move. Now what? I don't have anything special, I guess. Rook b8. a6 is a6. Protecting my pawn. Feels lame. White isn't really threatening anything special. You know? I mean, knight e4 drops his a2 pawn. He's got to be careful about that pawn. And we're just ready to get developed. He's traded off his central pawn. That could actually be good for me. So he's playing without a clear plan, it feels to me. Feels like to me. If he had taken the pawn last move, I would have had a lot of pressure along the b file. Pleasure. Pleasure. Alright guys, Mule Skinner, who's up? Ace is here. King Chaser, Pere Ode, Rybka. I will accept Rybka's challenge, although he has only a few games because he had another account. He admitted he was another player. The sin of multi-accounting. Okay, f3 kind of kills bishop b7 as an idea. What is my plan here? And fast. I want a plan and I want it fast. What a weird idea. Weird ideas. You know what? It's just a way of mobilizing my rock. He hit my guy. Rook b7, rook d7. Strange continuations. Rook a7 I borrowed from some Smith-Morra line. It also happens in the Najdorf sometimes. I didn't really know what else to do. I thought maybe I'd play queen c7 and just retract my queen. Challenge his... I can challenge his queen. I don't think that I'm worse here. We were in a kind of awkward situation. That might not even be the best move. I mean, maybe I should have just played like bishop b4 and actually, nah. Lucro, come on, man. Wake up and smell the coffee. Your position is perfectly fine. Don't lose on time. You don't want the queen trade anymore. When did you ever want the queen trade? He did not want a queen trade. It's kind of a boring endgame now. Maybe I should take with a knight. Nah. Bishop c7's too irritating. Oh, good. I didn't want you to trade all the pieces with rook d1. Thank you for cooperating. Rook f1. What does that have to do with anything? Rook f1. Wonder if this is even a good move. Oh man, I don't know. Alright. I don't know, my a pawn is hanging. Wow, he went there. Okay. It's all good. I just love exchanging stuff. Let me in there. Time out, analysis board. Minus 0.7. They say if you don't checkmate black in the Sicilian, you're in trouble. Alright, Plucro, interesting stuff. Opening analysis just for a very, very brief, because we got a lot of challenges. I mean, did I play the main line here, if there is a line? Like, bishop e7 is the main move, yes. Queen d2 is the main move by white. And then a6 transposes to some weird Najdorf. I talked about h6. Okay, I don't see the big deal with h6. Like, okay, h6, what does this do? Like, after bishop h4? And then I play a6. I see. So it's some kind of Najdorf where I've actually sort of added the moves h6 and bishop h4. Interesting. Okay, maybe that's the best. Guys, if you want to contact me, send me a message on Twitch. How's your lichess name? My lichess name is Sparkle Horse. Alright, guys. If you would like to subscribe, we really appreciate it. We need more subscribers here, and we can make subscriber-only streams once a week or twice a week. I do 6 streams a week during most of the year. Here in July and August, I'm taking it a little bit easy due to summer vacation. Okay, Arkovian. If you want to challenge me, yeah, we appreciate that you guys have at least like 50+ rated games on lichess. I'm making an exception for Christopher Reeves, Ribka 6, because he said that he has played me before. Let's watch out for rated challenges. We had the rated challenges yesterday. The rated challenges, yeah, casual, he's trying to sneak one in. Casual Ajagab, or Ayagob. Casual A, if you'd like to re-challenge me, you're right before ace. Arkovian, we're playing c4. But there was a little bit of lag going on. Is that on my end? Not really. Arkovian maybe. No, he's got a good connection too. That was weird. Did we have this before Arkovian? Yeah, okay, so we're playing a similar line to yesterday. We had a symmetrical, yeah, yesterday actually, Wednesday. We had a symmetrical. Let's play something different. I'm going to play e3. I'll subscribe if you go back to your normal times. Well, I am going to go back to my normal times, but only on the 1st of September. But I'm gonna hold you to your promise, little Pingwing, that you're gonna subscribe on the 1st of September. It's too late to actually learn a lot of chess. Somewhere I was reading that people are like genetically, some study somewhere, people like are genetically either like night owls or like it can be from your DNA, like from thousands of years of your ancestors decided whether you'd be like a night owl or a morning person. Maybe your ancestors were hunter-gatherers, and they were waking up early or hunting at night or something. That's just a random conversation I started. Okay. Arcovian, I'm so glad you played this because I play this with black. And it's so cool to play something I actually play myself. Oh no. What am I thinking though? No, something's not right here. Man, I just played bishop c4. I'm such an idiot. I'm supposed to play queen b3. Bishop c4 is like okay, but it's not great. Queen b3 is the move. I spoke too soon. Played the second best move. Whoops. Your biopsych professor says it has to do with age. Wow, Arcovian played bishop e6. That is a very interesting move, which I played in similar Scandinavian type positions. So here the question is, if I play queen b3, now, I don't think this works right. We've got queen b3 here. There's no knight a5 nonsense. No nonsense. But there could be a delayed knight a5 nonsense, huh? Let's see, a6, bishop takes d5, knight a5. There's a cool variation. I could sack my queen for 3 minor pieces and it's daylights out, man. It's just out for you. a6, bishop takes d5, knight a5, bishop takes e6. Knight takes b3, bishop takes b3. Good luck, man, because you have a lot of fun against those 3 minor pieces. No. I mean, a6 probably bad for a number of reasons, but man, bishop takes d5, knight a5. I might have other good lines there too, like queen a4 check might even work. But I wouldn't mind sacrificing my queen for 3 beautiful minor pieces. That would be fun. 50 rated games. Chief Scrim, a lot of people can beat me. Especially people using computers. But there's a lot of people even without computers can beat me. I'm very beatable. But I don't lose that many games here. Queen b3. Black is in trouble. It looks like bishop e6 pushes the envelope of sanity. Can he really get away with this? I mean, the thing is he had a golden opportunity. This is like Yasser Seirawan, no, Anatoly Line versus Yasser Seirawan, U.S. Championship, like 2001. Knight b6, bishop b5, play for a draw, or something like that. Bishop c4 is not the right move. It's an older move. I'm supposed to play this, queen b3. And then black has a number of moves, like e6 I played against a guy in my last tournament. Knight takes c3 is a move I played a lot after queen b3. But I was just playing too fast here and I forgot. But bishop e6 is a bad move. Black can play actually also knight takes c3 in this position. But that's going to transpose to queen b3. So that's a difficult line. You have to go back, knight d5, bishop takes d5, e6, bishop takes c6, b takes c6. There's a lot of theory now, and it's actually become a very trendy variation. But it's safer for black, to play e6. So knight b6 is hands down the right move here for black. He played bishop e6. Queen b3, knight takes c3, bishop c4. Yeah. No, knight b6 is the best move. There's no doubt about it. Now he's just in a bad way. His structure's all messed up. But perhaps this doesn't lose by force. I don't know. It's just a very unpleasant endgame for black. Wait, maybe I can quote Edmar Mednes for you. I was going through a book here, Edmar Mednes. This is an old book from the 80s. If you guys can see it. From the middle game into the end game. He had a good quote here, though. I'm trying to find it. Maybe I'll wait till the game is over. Maybe I'll wait till the game is over to take the time to look this up. But very good quote about like going into end games from the middle game. You know, when to do it. Whoops. Alright. I'm already thinking about end game here, guys. And that's the way you should approach it. I mean, black should probably play queen d5. Or queen d7. Actually, maybe he has to play queen d7 here because of b7. But if black were to play queen d5, I'm perfectly okay with the queen trade because his structure is worse than mine. Grandmaster Edmar Mednes, he was a very good chess writer and a strong player, and he to paraphrase what he said in this book that I'm showing you is basically that it's something I've always incorporated in my own game. Should we play knight g5 here or not? It's a good question. Maybe not. I think just development is in order. So Mednes would say basically, if you have a clear advantage of some kind, don't avoid endgames, and don't allow complications. This kind of situation, I'm going to like welcome a trade of queens probably. If you're to play like queen d5, I'd let him play queen d5 and let him trade on b3. Now there's just no way to defend this e6 pawn. Looks like knight g5 might just win by force. The double threat of taking on e6 and knight f7. Obviously, I castle to allow rook e1, which is like another way of attacking that pawn. But I just don't think there's any defense for black here. Castling queenside, it's not really the best move because he needed this. He needed that retreat like knight to d8 to actually save his position. So Mednes. Where is this quote from Edmar's? He's actually Edmar's like Latvian by Edmar's was Latvian. He was Edmar's Mednes. But he became an American. And he's a pretty strong grandmaster. I'm trying to find this quote. Where is the quote? Alright, queen d5, here we go. Well, knight f7 just wins the exchange. We can take on e6. I think I'll take the clear exchange. Edmar's, where is your quote? Do not take risks when you have established a clear advantage. Okay. When exchanging queens is the right approach. Let's see. Okay, so Edmar's Mednes. We're up a clear exchange here. I can also put more pressure on e6. I could trade queens, but he's pretty tied down here, and I'd rather trade queens on my terms. Arkovian, well, it was an opening mistake. I mean, that's a pretty serious opening mistake. Rook takes e6. It feels a little bit risky almost. but consistent. Having said A, he doesn't have any counterplay here. He actually blocked his f-file play. I would like to trade queens. Ed Mars would approve of trading queens when you're up the clear exchange. But I'm thinking about actually mating threats. If I get a bishop f4, like an exchange sack on c6, maybe some tandem of my queen. I also have rook b1. This is just deadly. Okay, now bishop e3 looks like a sane move. Problem is that, well, now he's threatening this very, very nasty... He's threatening the very, very nasty knight a5. So maybe it's time to go back home. There's also knight takes d4 in some positions. Rook b1, knight a5 still doesn't disappear as a threat. Sack and exchange, rook takes c6. Just give material back and be up a pawn with a safer king. If I have nothing better, I'll play rook takes c6 here, limiting the danger. That's a technical win. That actually looks really bad for black. Yeah, I mean, how is he going to defend this? Rather than allow any tricks, is he going to sack a rook? He's going to have to go for another walk, I think, here. And I've given him too much. Yeah, I've given him too much. He should have been a dead man, but I think rook e6 may have been a mistake. He's still a dead man, but he can walk his king to d7 and then sort of hang out in the center of the board. King d7, bishop e3, and then something like rook c8. Yeah, that looks about right. When obviously I've got a back rank issue. I have a slightly better structure. He's got 3 isolanis, and he's down a pawn. King d7 is the only one. Lichess name is the same, just challenge me. Blue Crow, what are you talking about? I missed some contextual things here. He copied me. He said exactly what I suggested. King d7 and rook c8. He did exactly the recommended line. But he's still dancing in the center of the board. It's only a matter of time. Pawn down, worse structure, less safe king. I mean, okay, we've got 1 point of material for the pawn. We've got like half a point of material for the structure. And then we've got like another 0.75 worth of material for... I mean, I'm probably up like plus 2.25 here with the engine, with this position. That's probably as good as a clear exchange, which is basically where I was at before. I was up a clear exchange. Now I've traded my clear exchange up, which is like 1.5 material for, ooh, king safety. That's got to be mate. Not quite. Oh, it looks nasty. Okay, he's going to hide on d8. He doesn't have a back rank mate. He doesn't have a back rank mate here. I have g4. But first I have to defend Mr. Rook. Oh, up there. Now Arkovian should know better than that. You had to play king d8. Is that just tragic too? I think he had to play king d8. Because this has got to be mate. Yesterday against Mrs. Sparkles, or Miss Sparkles, I had played a brilliant game and then let her get away. I was just like +7 after like 15 moves with black having a king in the center, or Wednesday, and I let them get away, something like this. But I played the opening right and let the king like survive from the center. Same thing, king out in the middle like on d6. D takes E5. It doesn't look good. All right, guys. Next game. Any other subscribers? Blue Crow's already played. Brundle Phil already played. There's no other subscribers that are here. The Mama Duck's a subscriber. Mama Duck, you're not challenging, are you? I think I said I was going to play Ribka because they challenged me earlier, and I closed their challenge out. But Ribka, I normally wouldn't play. I'm making an exception. Something very strange just happened. I'm gonna start the game. There was just a very strange noise outside. It sounded like something fell down, but I don't know what it was. Maybe a bird flew into the window. Okay. I don't know what I'm playing here. Let's just make it up as we go along. Mr. Burns, isolati means isolated pawn in general. Hezary says chess engines ruin chess for Fischer. That's why he quit playing. Well, Fischer had a lot of issues. I wouldn't simplify it that much, but I'm sure that had a big effect on him. You guys heard it too? It sounded like something like fell down. No idea. You don't know what goes on behind the screen. Okay, Slav defense. I have no idea how strong this guy is. He'll probably beat me. I'm just glad it's a casual game. We're going to play our normal Slav. Didn't Fischer quit in the mid-70s? He did. But he came back to play a match with Boris Spassky in 1992. I mean, it was a little weird, the whole like playing a match in 92. I mean, Fischer had been out of chess for so long, you know, and Spassky was basically like out of chess as a top player for a long time. So that match, I mean, at the time, everybody found it very compelling and interesting, but, you know, honestly, I mean, there were some questions whether Spassky was even fit to play at that level anymore, you know. Fischer was just a massive genius no matter what. I mean, Spassky was still Spassky. He's still a great player who was world champion, but he had been really inactive. It doesn't really, almost, to me, it doesn't quite count as like a real serious part of Fischer's career, his true career. Okay, so here we go, G6. We go into action against the Schlechter Slav. It's always say Schlechter Slav, like high impact. That's completely false. High impact. Oh man, alright. Anyway, pornographic names I'm gonna have to like, I'm just gonna have to remove from the room. I mean, you may not be a bad person, but we've got to draw the line somewhere. Bishop f4, bishop g7. That's when Fischer was chased out of America for playing that tourney and not paying taxes. Yeah, I mean, it seems a little silly now, but he basically made a spectacle of himself, you know. He was like chewing up and spitting on documents on public television. I mean, I don't know, dude. He practically asked them to like go after him. So it was kind of weird. It seemed like he wanted a lot of attention, and he got it. What's up, Blue Crow? Yeah, it's like, what to do, dude? Nothing personal, I just can't really... Bishop a6 is a cool idea. Maybe we play queen a4 here, just playing against his knight. Anyway, I don't want to get into... I'm not a big expert on Bobby Fischer political stuff. I have a funny story about Fischer. Check out this move he played, knight e6. Maybe we play with 2 knights? Nah. The story that I have about Fischer was like when he was in Budapest when I was there. The first time I was hanging out in Budapest back in the late 90s. And I was at this Grandmaster Gerardo Barbero's house, hanging out with Gerardo and his wife and my girlfriend at the time. And the phone rang, and I had never met Fischer or anything. I figured, whatever, who's that? And then Gerardo's wife was like, "Everybody, be quiet, be quiet." We were like, "What's going on?" You know, just having a nice, relaxing evening, playing games and hanging out, and suddenly, like, she's like, "Be quiet, be quiet." So like, what's going on? And apparently Fischer was close friends with Gerardo, and he had called him on a regular basis. So he was ranting about this political stuff in the US, and he wanted Gerardo, this was the basic premise of the whole thing, was like, he wanted, this is 1997 I think, or 1998, he wanted Gerardo to contact Saddam Hussein and arrange a match with the best Iraqi player, just to like stick it to the United States and make political waves. It was like, Gerardo was like, "I can't believe he expects me to contact Saddam Hussein. Like, how do I contact Saddam Hussein?" Like, it was a normal thing to do, you know? Totally crazy. That story may have been, this story may have been related in some other places. But, you know, it was probably, it's, I don't know, it's possible. If you hear that story somewhere else, it's possible that Fischer had asked other people as well. It's also possible that someone heard me tell the story. I don't know. Alright. So knight takes e4, d takes e4. This is the great thing about the Quang Liem towel. Well, anyway, wonder who is the best Iraqi player in '92. I mean, there's probably some masters, you know, maybe even like an IM. I mean, since then, African and Middle Eastern countries have made some steps, you know, toward improving. You know, you take like a country like Iran around that time. I'm not even sure if they, you know, were playing chess yet. We're back into chess yet in '92. I'm talking about '92 is different from '98. Anyway, I'm getting confused, but yeah, the strongest Iraqi player wouldn't have been competition for Bobby Fischer. It would have been like a, you know, it would have been a political stunt, basically. That's what Fischer wanted. Just a political stunt to kind of like thumb his nose at the US government. I mean, it wasn't like a serious thing. But it's a story you may not hear elsewhere. You heard Larson talking about Fischer and the Dallas match. Actually, I was hanging out with Lajos Portish a couple of years ago, and he told a story to me how Fischer, he came to San Antonio in 1974 secretly. Like, Lajos was playing in San Antonio in 1974 when Fischer had, like, you know, quit chess since over a year and a half or something, and this was a super tournament where Portish was playing with some other world top players, and it was funny because Portish said, like, not everybody saw him, but like Fischer was there, like, secretly disguised, you know, hanging out, and I think that Lajos was one of the only people who actually knew that Bobby was like doing this crazy thing at the tournament in disguise. He just couldn't resist. He just couldn't resist being at this world-class tournament, you know, in his home country. That was easy to go to, and that popped in my head because you're talking about Fischer and the Dallas match. Anyway, guys, let's get back. I'm losing my concentration on the game here. I love telling stories, but our main focus is playing some chess here. So, all right, Rook c7 allows knight e6, and I'm afraid that black might get a little bit of counterplay there. Where's my knight going? Knight d7 with the idea of knight f6 check is also possible. We have some issues with my knight. I don't want my knight to get trapped, obviously. Now, this is just a really irritating position. Ribka 6. Knight d7, rook d8, he defends just in time. That's convenient. Maybe knight c6, threatening knight e7 check. With the idea of knight b4. My knight is equally awkward over there. Knight c6, rook e8, knight b4, rook d8, and then rook to the 7th. This is a pretty bizarre plan. It's a pretty awkward plan for me. I really don't know, but I'm getting low on time. Spinal Tap, what's up, man? I thought it's a little too early for you. So the best Iraqi player even now is 2398. Yeah, it would have been like an IM type player. No GMs, obviously. Just a crazy request. He was totally going nuts. Alright, finally we got a blunder. That's a relief, because Ribka was scaring me. I was really getting worried about this if I wasn't gonna be able to make any progress, but he made a serious error there. So it looks like rook e8 and black's hanging on. I mean, I was gonna play knight b4, but I'm not making clear progress here. Not making clear progress. Maybe something like rook c6 and I'm gonna double rooks. But my knight's getting really weird, like going to c2. So it would have been a tough struggle either way for me there. Okay, anyway, my knight's still a bit awkward. We have a protected pass pawn though. I mean, this should be a winning position for white, one way or another. Not so easy to win though. Maybe double rooks. You know, rather than trying to break with f3, which is kind of anti-positional and weakens my structure, I think I might prefer to go with a straightforward, just seize the c file, or maybe trade into a knight endgame kind of scenario. I think I just may have made a mistake though. Yep. Alright, we're probably gonna have to switch to a different plan. Ribka 6. This wasn't very, I didn't think this out very well. Egads. Have to switch plans. Maybe f3 after all. That's even awkward. I mean, f3 is going to allow him f4 at some point when my d4 pawn becomes kind of weak. I was really hoping not to do that. I made a big mistake with rook c2. First I should have challenged him by moving my knight, you know, and then maybe knight b5 actually. Rook c4. Now I'm actually going to have to give up the file here. Switch plans. Looks like Ribka 6 is going to come back. This player, I have no idea how strong he is. I bent my rules to let him play against me, but bending the rules. Looks like now he has enough counterplay. Gotta get off this. Gotta get off the hot file. And things are a little awkward at the moment. So, I don't know. We've got a passed pawn. Maybe g4? No, not quite. Just very awkward for me. He has compensation based on my structure. Guess we'll just go with this pawn. We're gonna just see how far it will go. I'm not in love with this though. I mean, our structure is damaged because of f3. We were completely winning earlier, but I don't necessarily have to play that move. d6. Looks like d6, d7. My guy gets trapped. My pawn is going to get surrounded. g4 would be a good move. I can't find a way to execute e4. I just don't think I have enough here. Yeah, it looks like he's going to at least draw. Perfect. I was going to say perfect play, but we have some compensation maybe. We'll get him tied down. Or he'll find some secret move here. I think this guy beat me already once. What is this, Mr. Burns? Among all IMs, not everyone can be one of the stronger IMs. What is that comment in reference to? Mr. Burns, what does that mean? Is that some kind of like backhanded compliment? Rook c5 is an extremely strong move to find. I'm basically like lost all my advantage. I basically lost all my advantage. He defended extremely well. Although here rook takes. I mean, maybe I can do something here. Playing e4. He's got more time than me. Curious what he plays here. Well, if king e6, pawn takes pawn, leaves me with a slightly better structure. This endgame has to be played to the bitter end. I mean, I think we really have a significantly better structure. So, real winning chances. I didn't need to retreat my rook, though. Maybe that was unnecessarily passive. What are we doing? 4 isolated pawns should give us good chances. But where to put my king? Man, he's got more time than me constantly. Yeah, every move. Excellent. He's much faster than me too. Feels like I'm playing like a player at least my equivalent. in this game. Maybe rook c1 there? I feel like I'm on the defensive now, to be honest with you. He played kind of sloppy structurally, but he's so active with his rook and his king. But I mean, I don't have any information. He claims I played a game with him before. I remember losing a game to the guy. So that's an indication, you know, it's a strong player. But this endgame is still probably okay for black. Now that move I'm a little surprised by, but it's probably still a draw. Look how fast he is. It's the dead draw. I'm lucky I don't lose. How fast he is. I mean, this guy's like, he's got to be like master at least. Now it's a draw. Yeah, okay, dude. Interesting game. Alright, guys. Anyway, back to our regular opponents here. Monkey Pushing Wood, Miaozi, Nefedov, Periode, King Chaser, Ace, Trouts. Okay, we have about an hour left, guys, so I'm going to be able to play like 4 games, probably. I don't think I'm ever winning after the last, you know, when we reach the position where it's like an endgame, once his king's starting to get active. From the moment I played this misguided move rook c2, when I was just up a clear pawn, he starts to get counterplay. It just like was a waste of tempo. It cost me having to lose actually several tempi because I had to move my king again after that. Yeah, good game, dude. You must be at least a candidate master. Don't tell me you like 1700. C4. F3 was probably really bad, but what am I supposed to do, you know? I mean, my other option is to do nothing. And you know what I mean? I mean, I don't think there was a good option in that position. I lost all my advantage. I mean, I'm just, the question is prior to that, you know, really. I don't know. Well, I didn't take it that seriously at the moment when I had a winning position. I let down for a moment, and I played this idiotic rook c2 move, forgetting that he can double and I can never, like, move my knight because I'm pinned on the c-file. So after that, even though I'm up a pawn, I have no breaks, and I have no open files for my rooks. So it's kind of like, how the heck do you win? Monkey Pushing Wood playing the Zoltan Varga variation. I mention him a lot because he's a friend of mine. He's a teammate. Knight f6. You see queen b3 a lot, but I'm not overly thrilled with that. Actually, you know who else played this line for black? Anthony Miles. I think Grandmaster Tony Miles might have even played a game against me in this line. Now my h3 looks ridiculous. I just made this h3 move, and it's just a total loss of tempo. So that's probably giving him good chances for equality right there. h3 was definitely not the right move. I should play a normal move, knight f3 or knight c3. But I was just kind of hoping, I don't know what I was hoping for actually. What was I hoping for? He would play something like bishop f5. Okay, bishop d7 is okay, but it's very passive for black. You have a virus, and my doctor said I can't go to work even though I've been asleep. I can't go to work. I've been asleep for the past 3 days. You played a pretty good game, man. Someone who's been asleep for the last 3 days. I hate to play you when you're fresh. Okay, rook e1. I mean, healthy. Rook e1's the best I can do. This looks like a good idea for black. Bishop d7, bishop c6. Yep. We don't have much here. Good defensive idea by monkey pushing wood. Now he just trades his bad bishop. You see this sometimes in Steinitz games. C3 Sicilian, it can happen. Isolated queen pawn. I played a little bit routinely. A little bit too routinely here. Grabbing his bishop isn't a great achievement. But what else can we do? Like sacrifice a piece on f7 in some lines, maybe. If he plays knight d7, knight takes f7, rook takes f7, bishop takes e6. Could be interesting, but somehow I doubt it's like really sound. You do something like knight to d7, knight takes f7, rook takes f7, bishop takes e6. This kind of sacrifice happens in the Sicilian defense. But generally speaking, in the middle game, the rooks aren't as valuable as the minor pieces. So when I trade 2 minor pieces for rook and 2 pawns like that, although in an endgame I might have the upper hand, it's usually like in the middle game, he's more active with his minor pieces. His minor pieces are more useful. I've never seen anybody rock a wife beater better. Oh man, I love you. We love you, man. I've got my Quang Liem towel here. That's an essential part of the outfit. We've got to have like the security blanket aspect, and you can, you know, just towel off when you start to stress. Plus, there's the, you know, using it as a kind of like armrest. Like Quang Liem, that's how he got to be 2700. No doubt about it. He saved these positions against me that like no human being would ever been able to save. Actually, one in particular where he was just dead, and I let him draw somehow. But I think it was the magic towel that really essentially did it. Here, you know, I'm like, I'm gonna play bishop d3. It's sort of sick to play bishop d3. I mean, maybe I'm going a little too far with the bishop d3. So, we try to play as actively as we can under the circumstances. We don't have much here, though. Queen b3. Queen b3 with the pawn grab on b7. Not looking really... It's like queen b3, knight c6. Queen takes b7, knight takes d4. Do I have something there? It looks pretty weird. Man, I don't know if I trust this. Queen b3. And then queen f3, knight c6. I'm stuttering a lot today. I don't know what's up with that, but nothing wrong with that. Let's see. Queen b3, knight b6. You know, there it might get interesting. All right, let's do this for just the sake of something interesting. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Knight takes c6, b takes c6. Queen takes b7. Oh, he did knight b6. Okay, I'm happy to see that, because there was another variation I was looking at. Knight c6, queen takes b7, knight a5. Even that might be like good compensation for black, objectively. But knight b6 is like, man, he's gonna let me do that sacrifice I was talking about, but maybe a better version. We have a better version of the 2 pieces for rooks type of thing here. It still may not be enough. I have some perverse tactical threats, like knight takes f7, rook takes f7, bishop takes f7. No, bishop takes e6, pawn takes, queen takes, check, king h8. There's got to be something here. Come on. I was looking at... Actually, what's wrong with that? Knight f7 check, takes, queen takes, knight c6. And then I wanted to play some crazy move, like rook e6. I don't know if this is even enough. I don't see a forced win here. but I don't really know what else to do. Knight g6 check doesn't do anything. There's always like bishop h6 at some point is like what I'm kind of hoping for somehow. But how will bishop h6 ever work? How will it ever work? We need to mobilize another piece. We need to mobilize another piece, but where? How? I wanted bishop h6 somehow. I'm just living in fantasy land here. I mean, I don't think there's anything for white. We got 2 pawns and the rook. But there's no tactics. I just have to accept the fact that black is okay here. We just have to accept reality. I don't have anything. I mean, I have what I have, but I don't have any more than that. Except for this, maybe. We grab another nugget and hope for the best. That's a good exchange for me. You know, healthy pawn for isolated target on d4. I'm totally down with that exchange. Bishop takes, his rook's protected. Rook d1. Knight e2 check. Scanning the board. I like the fact that I got the b7 pawn in exchange for the d pawn. You know, we have some chances in this kind of endgame. Pawn push. Today is my last try in a blitz game. I play and I always lose. I don't know why. The man is keeping us down, man. What are you guys talking about? Let me know when I'm going to lose on time. Monkey was pushing wood. You lasted a lot longer than 10 moves. The towel is white. The imbalance. It's chess. The towel is actually like a faded picture on it, but it's not pure white. I chose the white wife beater today because the black one makes me look fat. And it's actually cooler. Extremely humid. Is this just game over? Oh no. Bishop takes, knight takes, and queen e4. I mean, that's the simple solution. Monkey did better this time, but now you're going to be down in exchange with no compensation. Bishop takes, queen e4, bishop takes f2, king takes f2. Maybe I could have played queen e4 right away. Knight e2 check, king h1. Doesn't seem like it would save him. This piece has never really gone into play. But I mean, he had his opportunity. Queen f6 is a very bad move. You had to play bishop takes first, and then check and take on b2, and you're still lost. But you know, at least there would have been some hope. Okay. I'm actually curious to see what the computer said like after I sacked the piece on e6 here. You know, what do I have in reality in equal position? This, yeah. I had knight takes f7 winning by force though. That's good to know. I'm not quite sure why I missed that. I mean, first of all, he can take with the king. You know, this isn't obvious, right? King takes, bishop takes, e6 check, and hide the king on like e8 or even g6. g6, queen c2. No, he has to go here. And I didn't realize how strong this was. I have check and then like d5. There's also checks. He just falls apart. Okay. I failed to appreciate how strong this was. But if I don't find that, then I don't have anything. Knight b6 was a really bad move, man. I mean, if you just play knight c6 here, I don't know. I mean, I was thinking about taking on b7, actually. But it doesn't look very convincing at all. Actually, I could be in trouble there. Knight a5, queen b5, rook b8. What's up? What's up with that? Queen a4, rook b4. The heck is going on around here? It's unbelievable that I'm not even like losing or something. Okay, I'm up a pawn, but he has some compensation. Guys, let's play a couple more games. Clash Kid, he's going to give it one more try and then he's going to quit. He said, don't quit, man. You're getting better. Everything that doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Is this killing you? Cash Kid? Cash Kid? I almost took a selfie with a stuffed whale today. On another subject. That would have been better in my poker playing days. But I didn't think it was so necessary now. It doesn't have a lot of chess significance. So do you still do simul's on Sundays, 5 p.m. Actually, that's my next stream, guys. 5 p.m. on Sunday. The Mora is his weakness. I don't think so. I actually crushed him in a Mora, said Blue Crow. Clash Kid, this was our theme for today, E3. We're going to play this once again. Nobody likes to play the semi-Tarash. The last opponent played G6. That's what I play. But it all depends on your repertoire. But Vinik like E3. Spinal Tap Chess should put in a challenge. Yeah, Spinal Tap Chess should subscribe. Our first IM subscriber. D4. C takes D5, E takes D5. We're going to actually play the same line, but I'm going to play Queen B3 instead of Bishop C4. The land of tea and scones. You're from England, Christopher Reeves. But I thought you were from Argentina. Here I was thinking that Christopher Reeves was from Argentina because of this guy Grau he was talking about. Queen B3. Guys, check out my YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube. Occasionally I'm going to be playing like blitz games on lichess and probably like making YouTube videos while I'm playing them and then reviewing them on YouTube videos. I thought a lot of my videos go pretty long, like 45 minutes sometimes. My streams are obviously really long, like 2.5 hours. So I want to make some like shorter videos for my YouTube channel because I think that people like to have some shorter videos. And I'm going to play Bishop G5 here. I was facing Bishop B5 in a tournament game last month, or 2 months ago, almost 2 months ago now, against a little master from Austria. Horvath Dominic. I was better with black. I was well prepared. He's like his trainer is Zoltan Ribli, the Hungarian former super GM, but I outprepared Ribli. Bishop G5, Bishop E7, and now Bishop H6. There's a bunch of draws that have been reached this way. I don't really know this line very well. I prepared it specifically for him, and he always played Bishop B5 instead of Bishop G5. I have to look at Bishop G5 more. I feel like Bishop G5 is somehow a more logical move because black has dark square weaknesses around the king side. And then here I'm out of my preparation now. Though I think Queen B6 is probably normal. I have the feeling this is normal. Though I'm not 100% certain. Bishop B5, maybe we go like fully knights versus bishops. We just control the central squares, no breaks for black. Give up the bishops for knight. Give up the bishop for knight on B5 if necessary. I kind of like it. We can force him to forego castling. I didn't really want to trade queens particularly, I have to admit. You live in England, but I know Spanish too, as his books are in Spanish. Yeah, I just assumed you were like a native Argentine or something, because the guy was from Argentina. Kind of an obscure master. Knight c7 looks kind of passive. Feels like black's wasting some time here. And I'm certainly perfectly willing to give up bishop for knight. We play like bishop g7, rook g8, bishop e5. A super complicated, insanely complicated situation. Knight takes b5. Kind of like this. This is weird. Knight takes... Is that bad? I figured, why the heck not? I'm going to get checked at some point. Is that an issue? Okay, is that an issue? I don't know. We're going to find out in a minute. Knight takes b5, knight takes b5, queen a5, check, knight d2. Somehow, I have no idea what's going on. He's lost his right to castle kingside. It's a really strange position. I have an isolated pawn in the center. I have a little bit better development. Now I'm going to castle. Be glad I can castle. Looking for tactics too. Bishop takes c7. Knight a4. Now if I castle, do I lose a piece? I'm going to lose a piece if I castle. That's good. Alright. Well then, that's not necessary. Maybe I take on c7. I even have like d5. Too slow though. I can play d5 whenever. If I castle, knight takes e5 and he wins a piece. Okay, I don't want to trade queens here with the worst structure. We gain time. We get developed. My isolated pawn doesn't seem like a real problem here. I'll talk about this a lot, and I've noticed this in my career a lot. If you want to play against the bishop pair, it's usually best to do it with two knights rather than bishop and knight. The two knights seem to work together pretty well. Yeah, now he's going postal with the castling queenside, but man, this looks a tad risky for black. The C file, for starters, C file looks really tasty for white here. And he's playing a sensible move now. D5. D5 takes, knight takes D5. I'm doubling my pawn. That probably can't be a bad thing, but it has some drawbacks. I'm a little concerned that this is maybe simplifying too much in his favor. Clash Kid is playing pretty fast. We've got tactics against that C-file stuff. On C6 in particular, I'm real close to something here with a combination. I may have combination. Queen d6, bishop takes c6, bishop takes c6, knight takes e7. Bishop takes f3. Knight takes g8. Bishop d5, queen g3. Doesn't work. No, but I'm still up the exchange, right? Are we just taking him out tactically here? Hold your horses tight. He's a little late for today. Yeah, dude, we're way overloaded with challenges. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 who are probably, you know, probably only like 2 of those guys are going to get to play. 3 at the maximum. Actually, Nefedov has challenged me to a bad time control. Nefedov, you've got to re-challenge me to something like 5 plus 3. I wouldn't mind actually leaving that 3 plus 3 here, actually, because if knight takes e7, knight takes e7, and black is okay. But I have bishop takes c6, followed by knight takes e7. I think he's dropping material. The subtle threat of mate. Man, I also had rook takes. That would be rude. Like rook takes. Although, that's a messed up position, man. Rook takes c6. Oops. Pawn takes c6, bishop takes c6. Excuse me, it's mate. Rook takes c6, bishop takes c6, bishop takes c6. And that's mate too. Oh my god. That's beautiful and aesthetic. I could have just won that way. This is a little more mundane and actually a bit more complicated. Castling queenside in the Pana of Botvinnik, not recommended. Guys, I'm streaming Monday, Wednesday, Friday through July and August, 4 p.m. Simul's on Sundays at 5. We've got 89 viewers. I want to thank you guys for viewing. Please subscribe to the Twitch stream and tell your friends about the stream. Also, if you can donate via PayPal, I appreciate. It helps me. I'm having hallucinations here. I just realized I have an interpolation. Rook takes c6, but queen takes d5 holds. I should have done rook takes c6 first. It was much easier. But this was my plan. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm up a rook here. Wait a minute. I have more rooks than you. A rook surplus. Clash Kid, please don't quit. Alright. He found the likely way to save himself from immediate capitulation. But I feel as though we should have him anyway. Queen b5. We stay on. Bishop c6, rook takes c6 is game over. Or is it? Yeah, that's pretty game over. Rook takes g8, rook d1, rook d8, rook c5 has a game overy feel as well. I just don't think he can salvage anything here. He's just down material. The problem with Clash Kid is he always plays very sharp, but I think he needs more time. You know, in the simuls he has more time than me, and he can confuse me and bamboozle me. Yeah, say that a few times. So rook takes c6. This is simplest way to be up a piece. Knight e7 might get my knight trapped, but we're gonna choose the other route. It's not very macho, you know. Not a very macho way of winning the game, but thank you, sir. So yeah, I missed the rook takes c6. Much more efficient win. Looks like he's lost here like straight away. This was the last chance to play the crazy knight e5. I'm not a big fan of castling queenside. I don't think that's healthy. You know, I think you should try to survive without that. Maybe even walk your king to like f8 and g7. It's not out of the realm of possibility. All right, guys, we don't have any other subscribers who are challenging me here. Yeah, I have a wife beater on to not be profusely sweating. All right, Meowsy. I'm a practical person. I really don't want to sweat like gallons of perspiration during my stream. It's not very pleasant. I'd rather not, like, go totally naked either. Meowsy held me to an interesting draw. We had a good battle. Don't want to be too, again, I don't want to be too why is it called a wife beater? Because, like, that's what, like, middle-aged men wear when they, like, drink a lot of beer and beat their wives. I mean, it's totally standard. It's totally standard. Kind of dress code for that sort of thing. Castles. I don't know why I'm thinking so long here. Our favorite Rossalimo. Do you have a box fan or something? Well, they make too much noise. I mean, I don't like using the fan during the stream. And I don't have AC. Meowsy's transposing to the disgusting Moscow variation, which I hate. No, he played knight takes d4. This is actually pretty rare. I mean, I don't know much about this guy. I think he said he has a FIDE rating, but 2300 in his profile. Okay, that's not like FBI evidence that he's telling the truth, but I would think that most people who go to the trouble of posting their rating and their profile are probably telling the truth. Though I don't know why a 2300 player would play this sort of insipid theoretical stuff. Computers love bishop b5. Anything without an opening book loves bishop b5. Now in this situation, I've been here like 1,000 times, and in my previous former life, I would always take back with the pawn, when I was kind of optimistic, an optimistic person. But in my pessimist old age, after dozens of examples of games where, like, my bishop never really gets into the game, I mean, I actually feel safer taking this way. B takes is much more combative, but this move, if Meowsy was like not 2400 but maybe 2100, I might recapture the other way. But I think practically, is this a player that I'm embarrassed to, like, draw against? Is this a player about the same rating as me? Then okay, maybe I'll play something safe. If this was a different player who was lower rated, I'd probably play the riskier move, b takes c. The problem is my bishop on d7 has a tendency to become a very, very bad piece after that recapture. Now Meowsy played bishop f4. It's really weird. Simplistic approach. Certainly a perfectly reasonable move. Concentrating on d6. If e5, knight takes c6, b takes c6, bishop g5. I mean, I think objectively the position is probably pretty close to equal, but white might have, like, some kind of microscopic advantage. So he played e5. I don't understand this guy. What his deal is. Why would you want to play like it's a bullet game in an 8-minute time control? I think he's too addicted to bullet, dude. You definitely need to tone down the bullet, dude, because you're never going to progress if you don't, think a little deeper about the game. Just playing like the first move you see in bullet mode in 8-minute time control, it just doesn't seem like a way to get to be a better player. You're not even thinking, you're just, like, reacting with, like, automatic moves. It's objectively equal. I don't remember if last time, if he How was it? If he was playing for an endgame, or I don't even really remember. Okay, now it's coming back to me. I was white in this other game that was a draw. He played like perfectly in that game. I mean, if he didn't have a high rating, you know, that game would be even suspicious. But, you know, he seems like he's probably a human player. He's probably a real 2300. I don't like how fast he plays. I don't think he thinks enough, and I think, though he's obviously strong, you know, I don't think it's a way to get better at chess. He's playing a lot of bullet, 2472. But I mean, if you want to improve, play standard games and use your time. You know, maybe you get to be like 2900 instead of 25. What's up? Brundle Phil, have you stopped beating your wife? Alright, yeah, I'm thinking King F8 too. I kind of like that. I'm going to copy him. Very good endgame technique, you know, king coming to e2. Maybe Meowsy just really likes endgames. I mean, that's definitely within the realm of possibility here. If I trade a set of rooks or not is a big question. Knight d5, I kind of like. This is such a strong piece. It's kind of the only reason why my position is okay. He instantly played knight a4. That's kind of frightening. The instant knight a4. Knight b6. What's going on here? I mean, if I didn't know any better, I would suspect white was a computer based on his play, his speed of play, the style of play where he doesn't move any pawns, just pieces. This obscure opening with bishop b5 that's not really theoretical. Bishop takes d8 looks okay, but I'm kind of suffering here. My original plan was rook takes d8, but then I realized he had bishop c7. And that doesn't work, thank God. Okay. Rook takes d8. Because I can take on a4 and take back on d8. But I don't know, man. It's just a relatively new account. The style of play is kind of computery. I mean, I don't want to hurt his feelings or anything, but the first game was a little computery too. This game's a little computery. He could be a human, he could not be, I don't know. But I'm not going to report him for being a computer. I think I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's probably just a really good human player. But I don't know. It's just a really clear style. Very, very fast. He defended great against me in the first game. Knight takes b6, a takes b6, bishop c7, rook a8. I had to be very careful that even works for me, because I can grab on a2. Here he's just a tiny bit better, but I'm probably holding on. Yeah, I'm just holding on. Groveling for a draw, basically. Rook a8. b3, b5. To b5 or not to b5, that is the question. I guess the f6. What I need is another pawn on the dark squares. I don't know, guys. I'm kind of passive here. We got all of our pawns on the wrong color. Perhaps we can hang on. We could shift our rook over here. And try to stop the passed pawns with our king. I feel like we're hanging on here. White has just been dominating like a machine. I mean, it feels like you're playing a computer, you know. This guy may not be a computer, but he plays that style where there's like just very clear. No, I mean, yeah, that's an argument. This guy can't be a computer. He's 24/72 in bullet. You know, I'm just saying his style isn't real human-like. You know, he's very. If he is a human, which he probably is, he's got a very methodical, technical style. Extremely methodical, technical, fast. Most humans don't play like that. You know, but yeah, it's unlikely he's a computer based on his bullet rating, which is 24/72. I mean, I don't think he's going to be playing 1-minute games with a computer. Rook A3 is a really nasty move. Because Rook D8, Rook D3. This is probably #1 engine move, Rook A3. Just best move. I mean, engine or human, whatever. He's got Rook D8, Rook A3, Rook D3. Trading rooks into what could be, probably should be a winning king and pawn endgame for him. It's I don't know what you call this. It's like a protected passed pawn, right? I don't know what you call it. It's annoying. It's strong. My king is there just in time to stop it. If A6, king B6, A7, rook A8. Guys, we'll probably have time for just one more game. Okay, maybe rook D3 is the main idea. It wins by force after rook D8. He's also got all this lateral mobility, so I mean, white is playing like a really strong technician. You know, it's, if you check out his first game against me too, he was black, but it was real clean. The only reason he ever had a worse position was at the end when he avoided the threefold repetition against me. Here it looks like I'm on the verge of losing, and I'm probably going to lose a pawn or come damn close to it. He's like perfect. I mean, it's kind of frightening, dude. I'm just going to have to sack a pawn here, I think, to try to survive. His play is like almost flawless. Basically flawless. Actually, I don't know why I didn't check him in the first place last move when I played rook d1. I should have checked him on b1. That was a really silly mistake. But this guy's interesting. He's got a very new account, very high ratings. He's playing his second pretty flawless game. I don't know, man. Rook b2. Well, that's okay. I mean, his rook isn't really ideally placed there. Rook there. Rook a2 check. Yeah, on king a4 I have c5, which is interesting. Actually, I have c5 here. Takes. And he's a6 there. Takes check. King c2. a6 wins. That's a nasty trick. So I have to get back. Yeah, it's like perfect technique. Very strong. Instantly like flawless moves. Now it's just over. Let's take a look at the analysis board, see if he made a single inaccuracy. I wouldn't expect he made any. Looks like a perfect game. We're still in book here. Bishop f4 apparently is the #1 suggestion of Stockfish. She played instantly. Let's see, e5. I didn't like e5. That is also one of Stockfish's favorite moves. It's saying he made some mistake at the end here. So maybe he made some inaccuracies. I feel like he played like perfectly. Okay, I mean maybe not. Apparently I was okay here. Which I felt okay, but he instantly played knight a4. And I played f6, no, knight b6. Now this is the point where I went wrong. He finds a4. This is #1 suggestion of Stockfish instantly. Rook a8. Rook a1. Also #1. I mean, I don't know, man. This guy, it looks like it's probably close to winning here. Another perfect move. I really don't know. I mean, it could be a computer. It's really hard to say. It looks really ridiculously accurate. But maybe if he's 2,300 feet, he's underrated, probably. All right, Perry Ode is up next. Yeah, I wouldn't want to I almost drew Stockfish, yeah. I wouldn't want to play that dude in a rated game on lichess. We've got... But Sparkle Horse is wondering... I don't play 1 minute chess, Spinal Tap. Can like cheaters play 1 minute bullet? I mean, how strong can the cheaters play 1 minute bullet with like a computer? Because I really... I know I've heard like King Crusher and other people accuse people of cheating in bullet. But how realistic, you know, is... How realistic is the 1 minute cheating? You know, I mean, it used to be the case that wasn't possible years ago, but I mean, I would imagine it would be possible, though. You'd probably need some kind of program to like play for you. You know, I'm not sure, like you need some kind of interface to basically play the game for you. You know, I don't think a human... Well, maybe if you really trained yourself, you could do it. But that dude, I don't know, man. That endgame was just brutal. If he's only 2300, man, I mean, it's unusual. Because most players on lichess are like young players, and they're generally not that strong in the endgame technique department. So I feel like I just played Magnus Carlsen circa 2008. It's very well possible. I mean, even years ago, like on ICC, people used to be able to use like Chess Assistant to play games again, you know, as a computer. I don't know though, you know, if that is easy to do on a site like lichess. It was like fairly easy to play with the Chess Assistant software on the Internet Chess Club, as long as like 15 years ago. But I don't know about, you know, I'm sure that it could be done, you know, pretty easily. I'm just wondering how widespread is it? This move's a little bit passive for me, but he's got bishop g4, so I think we'd rather put the bishop on d3. But the problem is that this bishop g4 is like kind of an annoying pin. Maybe we can ask Spinal Tap what he thinks about something like bishop d3, bishop g4, queen b1, bishop takes f3, bishop takes f3, g takes f3. That kind of endgame. I don't know, man. I don't really like it too much. All right. I hate this opening. This is what Oligas plays. FICS has cheaters on using engines that play. That's why you don't play a fix anymore. You mean like 1 minute? You know, I was kind of thinking the guy can't be a computer because he's 2470 in 1 minute. Well, that's bullet. It could also be 2 minute, right? But I don't know, dude. The last game he played against me was real clean too. Like real clean, and I played well. I played like 9 cent pawn loss in that game. Couldn't beat him. So it's pretty suspicious. But I can't just be claiming everybody who beats me is a computer. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. But I mean, if it's a messy game, it's one thing. But that was like flawless performance. I mean, he's easily an IM if he can play like that. It's hard for White to do anything in this opening. Absolutely, this is probably my least favorite variation of the Queen's Gambit. I'm actually kind of hoping I could play maybe a4. My a pawn looks kind of lonely here. All right, what about the c5 break? That's under control. Let's just play rook c2. Very safe. How about, it's not my move. How about that? It's not my move. f6, knight f3. Kind of an embarrassing retreat. It's good that I know it's my turn. I get upset when I lose a game, you know. I'm still kind of angry about the last game. Lost my concentration, but okay. Come back Sunday at 5 p.m. for a simul, 25 players. No computers allowed. You know, I just thought of something strange. That guy who played me, I mean, I don't want to discriminate against Sweden, but that guy who played my last game on my last stream was also from Sweden. The guy who seemed to have played with the computer. I wonder if it's the same player. Speculation. Well, I don't know, man. But if you keep beating me game after game with like 8 cent upon loss, I'm not going to play you anymore. That's that's for sure, dude. The defining thing that you notice with people who cheat is that they never make major mistakes. Most people are smart enough not to play every single move that the engine recommends. But, you know, occasionally you get guys who just do it anyway. And then you can pretty much know for sure you're playing a computer. But the trickier guys, you know, they'll play on purpose, play some second-rate moves, kind of mix it up, and then it's almost impossible. Unfortunately, that's why chess can never be played tournament style for money online. Maybe ever. It's just impossible to determine if you're playing a computer or not. I mean, it's impossible to prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. all Swedish are cheaters, especially on my stream. I've actually had very few players from Sweden. I mean, I can count them on one hand who've participated in my stream. Pretty much every other country, you know, from Europe. Okay, not some of the smaller. I don't remember like Estonian players. Swedish, not too much. We've had a lot of Norwegian players, a few Finnish players. Sweden, not too much. But that guy, I mean, that's, you know, if he's a computer, he's smart about it because he's not like trying to beat me over the head tactically. I mean, that's the thing. In the old days, computers could only play tactically. They didn't play a good like strategic endgame. I mean, they only had like one dimension to their play. But now, by the way, Periode here seems like he's a little too hesitant. I don't know. Maybe he needs to. Okay, what can he do with this pawn structure? I don't know. Feels like he has to be a little more aggressive. I'm trying to get all my pieces out. Knight takes e3 sacrifices can be met by takes in knight f2. Or even a pin, probably rook e1. Do I have any GM norms? Not at the moment. Guys, this is my last game for today. We got our compulsory suspicious loss in, and didn't play that badly, but we got ground down. I'm not really sure where my mistake was in that game. I played a little too passively in the ending. Knight a4, knight b6 was probably the beginning of the suffering. And then I just got techniqued. Impressive game by my opponent, human or otherwise. Rook b1, and we're going to pile up these rooks on open files and hope he can do something. I'm hoping for a4, a5, a6, but that's kind of a fantasy. Boris Gelfand would say play a6 when the pawn gets to a5. Come on, man, he may have cheated, but you can keep playing. Dude, I don't care, you know. I sometimes get irritated because like I hate people who are like cheaters, taking away games from the other players in the stream, wasting time. Basically, time is money, and that's my only issue. Rook fc1, knight takes e3, f takes e3, queen takes e3, knight f2. He only gets 2 pawns for a piece. He's sort of trying to build up something on the king side, you see, but you know he needs to play like f5 to do it, and then I play knight e5, and he's suddenly got this huge defender in his face. h5, that's a nasty move. Periode is a good player. He's also human. I like playing people who I get to know here on my stream. Play multiple games, they establish themselves, and they make mistakes, they play great games. It happens sometimes both ways. I don't like playing people who are perfect. h5. I'm getting a little bit nervous about this now. He's starting to get some counterplay. Maybe we'll challenge his knight. It's just really strong on d5. If I just sit there, I'm pretty concerned that I'm going to get h5, h4, and eventually an attack on my king. This rook endgame is fairly safe for me. We've got a little better of it. I don't want to play too passively like the last endgame, though. Oh, I love the comparisons between masters there. You're so on the money. All right. King in the center is going to drop a pawn to a5. Not today. I got to be a little bit careful about, you know, rook takes d4, but it's not on here. We're slightly better. It's a classic kind of pawn structure. Hans Kmock probably gives a name to this. There's a really great old book on pawn structures. If you want a book on pawn structure, Pawn Power in Chess, it's an oldie but a goodie. Really gives a lot of great examples in games. Probably recommend it. I'd recommend that higher than like say Andy Soltis book on pawn play in chess. I don't remember the title. Pawn structure in chess or something like that. But he's just like taking space, man. I don't like people taking space relentlessly. But I do like a good king. All right. Can I make progress with like a4 or something like that? a4, a5, a6. Rook c5 looks like an idea. Probably a good one. We have the power, to play like f3 and e4 maybe. And that could really spice things up. But at the moment, not yet, because of f3 rook e7, just ruining my day. So we do a4. He can't play b6. We play a5. Fix his structure, threaten to break it up. Then he'll have to play like a6 at some point, and then we'll have to reorganize what we're doing. Maybe this is a draw. You know, I feel like I'm a little bit better, but the reality of this position is that I may not be enough better to win. He's threatening b6 in a sense, so. And now the moment of truth. Wow, okay, he didn't have to play a6 because I'm not actually threatening. I mean, I can play a6 and force him to play like b6, but at the end of the day that might be dangerous for me too. Kind of a good question. He's just randomly taking space on the other side. Okay. I don't know what to do here. Reposition the rooks. Play rook c4. Play rook c4. Force his hand. And now maybe we can either put pressure on b7 or reinforce our e3 pawn. So he played rook d6. This is kind of about like stopping me from playing e4, it looks like. Stopping me from playing e4. I could have played rook e5 there, actually. That was an interesting move. Rook e5, rook d5, rook c5. Did I miss something? Rook e5? Rook d5, rook c5. Played rook b1 a little too quickly. He's preventing me from playing f3 and e4. Even that though, like even if I get in f3 e4, it doesn't do anything necessarily. His king might be actually open. I could create openness and weaknesses along f5 and g5. Maybe his pawns on g5 and f5 will fall. Anyway, I want to thank everyone for joining us. I want to thank our moderator, Blue Crow, for hanging out with us. He's just played f4. I think this move looks kind of suspicious. If he gets in g4, he could get in some kind of tricks with f3 or h3 or something. Even that doesn't look scary. What if I go rook e5 now? Go back to that plan. Well, it's a little slow at this point. I could also play rook b4. There's also h3 fixing his pawns. That could actually be dangerous, like h3. Dangerous for who? Alright, whatever. I'm going to play h3. I don't think it's dangerous, really. I take it back. Maybe I should have played rook e5, though. Now my rook is on the wrong square. Rook e5, rook e6. He can challenge me. I probably have to take. So, king g6. Where is he going? First here. Oh, he's going for the f file? That's what it appears. He's going for the f file. And I may be too slow. I'm going to have to play rook c2 at some point. Man, I thought rook f6 was your move there and double periode. I thought that was the whole idea. King takes rook. No, that's not legal. Actually, I can walk my king up to e4 now. Man, I think he missed the boat with that doubling rooks on the f file. Looks really nasty. Now he's going under. He just opened up the f file for me. That doesn't look healthy for black. Check. Rook up. He's gonna have to exchange. Do I have better like rook e6 here? Does it do anything? King takes rook again. Very strong. Man, he's got some counterplay here. This is still only a little better for me. I don't know though, it's really close. I can create a passed pawn, and it's harder for him to create a passed pawn with those bad queenside pawns. But he's hanging on. King e4. What does king e4 do, by the way? Does it do anything? King e4 would be a really dumb move. Alright, we've got e4 finally. King takes rook, again threatened. I was worried about the rook coming to the f file, coming down here. You might have made me. Now, this is starting to feel kind of another Rubinstein-y kind of endgame. Like another Rubinstein-y kind of endgame. Rook f1. This pawn may be just winning. Oh, good move. Alright. What do we do? e5, c5 is a problem now. So I can't go e5 right away. e5, c5 is a big issue. You can play rook f5, and then what though? Rook f8. King c4. The monster passed pawn. But is it enough? Is it enough? e6. Rook d6. Rook takes pawn. Rook takes rook, pawn takes pawn, king f7, d5. He can't take. Oh, man. That's an inactive move, though. I think he should have played king e8 there, maybe. Can I play e6? This passed pawn is so strong. Alright, man, tough game. You feel like I felt last game. Just barely couldn't hold on. Thank you guys for streaming today. I mean, for watching today. Thank you, me, for streaming. Interesting endgames at the end. I lost and Periote lost. Really interesting kind of technical rook endgames. Blue Crow, thanks for hanging out with us and being our moderator. I want to thank the Quang Liem for, you know, teaching me about the Tau. And maybe I too can be 2700. Guys, we're going to be back on Sunday. It's going to be a simul on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time with 25 players, 40-40 time control. If you want to play on Sunday, it's a 3-hour simul basically. Also, check out my videos on my YouTube channel, Video Chess Training. Please like and subscribe to Video Chess Training on YouTube, and just tell your friends and share, you know, the videos so we can get the views up and get the likes up over there. Also, if you want to, please subscribe to our Twitch channel here. It helps support me and support the stream and keep it going. We've got a bunch of subscribers now, and I think we're getting to the point where if we get a few more, we can create like a special subscriber stream every week. That would be a place to start for bonuses for subscribers, as well as, you know, just being able to play like ahead of everyone else for the most part, ahead of random viewers. Anyway, guys, if you can't afford to subscribe, just hang out with us, play some chess. I want to thank especially Spinal Tap Chess International Master for being here, for being our resident titled player in the stream. And what else? We will also accept donations via PayPal to support the YouTube and support our stream. I've got a new YouTube video I want to put up probably in the next day or so, so look for that. Otherwise, no new news, and I want to thank you guys. It was a good stream today. We will see you on Sunday. Thanks again, Blue Crow. Bye-bye, guys. Take care.